It may look like a fogey to a war of the once heavy ordnance armor men transferred in swells to their death. But the bloody battle for Bakhmut is in one crucial way truly remarkable. It sees the forces of a nation-state pitched against a private army, the Wagner group. Their tactics are brutal, they're deprived of any moral, and they simply have a target: kill or get killed. The greedy force has surfaced from the murk to lead the Russian assault in this part of Ukraine. They have taken massive casualties but also taken ground. They are led by this man Yevgeny Prigozhin. They call him Putin's cook. Then he's serving President George W. Backcountry. Now he leads a huge private army. That moment he claimed captured a city called Solidar. I want to emphasize one further time that no other units took part except Wagner. Now that's disputed, but what isn't in mistrustfulness is the crucial part Wagner now play in this war. And it's a conflict they have been involved in from the very launch in 2014. We've first heard of Wagner Group operating in Crimea and helping a Russian army and Russian state to annex Crimea. Back in 2014, Russia didn't say it was actually intermediating in Ukraine in Donbass. And for the notoriety had to do a different job for them, and that was Wagner Group and pro-Russian secessionists, who acted both in Crimea and Donbass in the interest of the Russian state. Since also they have expanded their operations around the world, their tactics were honed in Syria's civil war. They also fought in Libya, but it's in Sub-Saharan Africa that they've been most active, propping up administrations, allegedly in return for control of mineral coffers, and they used Africa as a training functional ground to understand their capability, their functional readiness to act in European soil. In Africa they principally traded security in exchange for some shares on oil painting, diamonds, and in critical rare accoutrements. For most of its actuality, Wagner operated in the murk. Yevgeny Prigozhin indeed took legal action against people who said he ran the group. Also last time with Russia's eruption of Ukraine floundering, that all changed. So during the eruption of Russia into the Ukraine, because it had to go out of the shadow because the scale of operations was so huge, and and Russia kind of broke all the toes with the rest of the world, so that it didn't mean they did not want to and didn't need to pretend that they're operating in a legal frame. They opened a headquarters in St. Petersburg, putting out public statements, started traveling Russian incarcerations, offering absolutions in exchange for participation in the war. Those rookies have reportedly failed in huge figures. Back questionable has been called a meat grinder. It's commodity that those responsible for recovering departed dog faces have seen firsthand. They do not feel to be well set. They are not prepared at each. They're like a immortal mass they shoot to overwhelm us. Despite that, Wagner have continued to drive on Bakhmut. So why? What are they trying to achieve? The end thing is obviously to secure as important home as they can. And the more home they secure in the name of Wagner, the more important they get his idea, his end. Thing is to come, it's come the idol, it's to come the person, it's to come the key to the conflict, the crucial, the result to the conflict, and with that to have further power to negotiate his own position in the future. In the last many hours, Vladimir Putin has promoted Valery Gerasimov, a man Prigozhin has disaccorded within the history, to run the Russian war trouble Kremlin and Wagner power games playing out on the battlegrounds of Ukraine. Knockouts of thousands have formerly failed, numerous further likely will. Text-to-speech